Hey guys, hello and welcome to The Edge, where I take everything I've learned over the past decade in elite sport, coaching and performance and break it down into simple, practical systems that actually work in real life. No fluff, no complexity, just clear, effective steps that you can use to go from feeling stuck, tired or inconsistent to feeling strong, sharp and in control of your body again. In case you haven't heard of me, my name is Owen Keeley. I'm a performance coach, international athlete and national record holder. I've helped hundreds of high performers over 30 lose stubborn belly fat, build real strength and optimize their day-to-day energy and performance. Today we are going to be breaking down identity change, so what it is, why it matters and how to actually do it. So by the end of the video you'll know exactly how to shift into a new identity step by step. So to kick things off with what identity actually is, and I'm going to try and keep this one nice and simple and concise. As much as I love a good philosophical debate, we're going to just hop into the basics of what it is and how that applies to us from a health and fitness perspective. So in very basic terms, we want to think about identity as being equal to our repeated actions. How do we classify people? How do we categorize them? And I think the easiest and simplest way of doing this that we tend to fall back on is what actions do they repeatedly do the most? And to me, that's what identity is. Again, feel free to debate me in the comments, but I don't want to turn this into a philosophical conversation. I want to keep it very action-based. So our identity is our repeated set of actions that we take day in, day out. So I am the type of person who ... It's our internal operating system. It's when we're not consciously thinking through what choice am I going to make in this current situation, in this scenario, with the information that I have, it's what's our default, what's our autopilot, what do we resort back to? And this is why it's so important to actually be aware of what our identity is when it comes to health and fitness and to actually shape it so it can actually help us to make better decisions and better actions and actually help us to be more consistent without even trying or thinking about it. And to hop into why identity actually matters for health and fitness. So we want to think about, going back to that previous example, that when we are not thinking, when we're on autopilot, what are we going to do? Because eventually our consciousness will be taking a break, our willpower is going to fade, and it's at that exact moment that our identity will dictate what set of actions we actually take. So having an identity mismatch is going to result in you just taking a less than optimal set of actions for the goals that you have set out for yourself. It's the difference between being versus trying. And to hop into how to actually change our identity. So if we are someone who maybe before are someone who is inconsistent, who can't stick to training plans, who has failed every nutritional approach that we've ever tried before in the past, how do we change that? So how do we actually shape our identity so that we can shape our actions? And I'm going to break it down today in 5 simple steps. So step number 1 is going to be to choose one micro identity. So this is one little piece of our identity, one part of our identity that has been formed by the actions that we have taken. Maybe it's a case of with our nutrition. We're someone who is inconsistent. Okay, so when we break down what is inconsistent, what does that mean? Maybe we miss meals, maybe we eat at random times, maybe we are reactive and not proactive with our nutrition. So if we invert this, if we think about, okay, so if we want to be someone who is consistent with our nutrition, and this is maybe not such a micro one, but it still works in this example, we need to think about, okay, what do we need to do to be someone who is consistent with their nutrition? Well, we need to eat probably a similar number of meals each day. We need to eat probably at roughly the same time each day. And we need to basically be proactive with our food. So we need to decide, okay, for breakfast, I'm going to have this, lunch this, and dinner this. And then we need to just follow through and actually take those actions. Okay, so that's step number 1, is we choose one micro identity. Okay, so once we have that chosen, step number 2 is we're going to set the smallest daily actions to align with what that identity is. So for this person, maybe it's the simplest, smallest daily action of, I'm someone who consistently eats 3 meals a day. Okay, so my simple action is going to be 3 meals a day. Again, for the start, we want to think about low barrier to entry. We want to reduce the friction as much as we possibly can. 3 meals a day. These can be, ideally, they're going to be good quality meals. They're going to hit our calorie goal. They're going to hit our protein goal. They're going to be absolutely perfect. But if we were to have, say, pancakes for breakfast, we were to have ice cream for lunch and pizza for dinner, we would still be someone who hit 3 meals a day. So again, we're starting small, we're starting easy, we're going to stack on this later on. Okay, cool. So I'm someone who eats 3 meals a day and I'm consistent with that. So step number 3 is going to be a simple one. It's going to be to stack evidence. It's one thing saying you are a certain way, but actually doing it is another thing altogether. And it's really evidence that you're going to be giving yourself proof and that you're actually going to be reinforcing and solidifying this identity. Okay. So we eat 3 meals a day. That means we need to stack evidence. So we need to do everything in our power every single day to make sure we eat 3 meals a day. And again, low barrier to entry doesn't matter what the meals are right now. It just matters that we eat 3 meals a day. Okay. And then step number 4 is going to be to add identity layers. So we're going to add layers to this. What this basically means is, okay, we've started off with 3 meals. Cool. Now maybe we're going to add a layer 2 weeks later. 2 weeks, we've hit, every single day we've hit 3 meals a day. Perfect. That's our small action. We've anchored it. We've stacked evidence daily. Now after 2 weeks, we're thinking, you know what? I actually am someone. I'm not saying this anymore. I am someone who eats 3 meals a day. I did this. I'm living this. I am this. Now we add an extra little bit on top. So we go, you know what? I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to say I eat 3 meals a day and I eat protein in each one. So I have, a protein source. And again, we're not being specific. We're not saying I have whole foods only. I never eat processed foods. This could be a protein shake with a meal. This could be a chicken breast. This could be 1 egg with our breakfast, but we're stacking these wins. We're layering in extra things. We add the layer and then again, we go back and we stack evidence. Day, protein, 3 meals a day plus protein. And we're building up this identity. We're building this. And with this, what we're doing is we're also building our self-discipline. We're building up our confidence in ourselves as well, that we're actually going to follow through and say what we said we would set out to do. And then what we're going to do along this process is we're actually going to celebrate wins to embed the identity. So celebrate our wins. And the reason that we do this is that we want to reward good behavior. Do something good. I give myself a pat on the back. Whatever this means for you, this could be, it could be going to your favorite coffee shop for a coffee. It could be going to your favorite place for a walk. Whatever it is, okay? What would be a good celebration for you? Tell your coach. You can celebrate it together. Maybe your partner. You can celebrate with your partner. But you want to take this seriously and you want to start, again, simple, small, stack your evidence and then celebrate it. Celebrate it. That's one iteration done. Perfect. Okay, next one. Just a little bit. We're not going to flip everything and make it perfect now. Just a little bit better. We're going to add protein in. Okay, do it for 2 weeks. Okay, brilliant. Celebrate that. Okay, what are we going to do now? We're going to add vegetables now. I'm someone who eats 3 meals a day and I have protein and veg with each meal. Okay, do it. When you're at that point, when you're having 3 meals a day consistently and you're having protein in each one consistently and you're having veg in each one consistently, you're going to be at a pretty good damn place with your nutrition. Okay, and that all started with one micro identity change of just eating 3 meals a day. So you can see how progress compounds here. And again, this is something that it's not the same as a crash diet where you go keto and you lose 20 pounds in a week and it's phenomenal, it's great, you feel great, and then the next week you eat carbs, you gain 10 pounds, you feel like crap. No, this is sustainable and this only gets better. So it's bit by bit, it compounds, it gets better, and the results that you get become greater the longer that you're in it. You just keep stacking and improving. But it all starts with starting small and doing it consistently. And again, this is an iterative process. So you go from the identity to actually setting the smallest daily action. This is important, low friction action. You stack the evidence and then you celebrate, then you add the layer. These should actually be swapped. Celebrate, then you add the layer, and then you go through the process again. From here, you loop back around to this one, and you add, just like that. And to recap, that is going to be it in its simplest form. We're choosing the identity, we're acting on it daily, we're letting the actions actually reshape who you are, and that will actually change. It will change you down to a very, very deep level. Again, no philosophical debates today, but that will change. If you got value from this, please feel free to drop a like or a rating if you're listening on Spotify. If you do know someone who is either trying to change their identity or who you think this would actually benefit to change their identity, please do share it. It really helps not only benefit that person as well as yourself, but it also helps to grow the channel, which really helps us out, and I do appreciate it a ton. If you do want a little bit more help, a little bit more guidance on actually deciding what these are for you and actually helping layer and stack them into your routine, you can get in touch. Drop me an email, a DM on Instagram, or hit the link below to book in a quick chat. Apart from that, I hope you're having a fantastic week. Really do action this. This is going to make a big change. I'm looking forward to catching you in the next one.